The LA Chargers receive a massive gift for this game against the Houston Texans, and it really wasn't a gift. I mean, they had to earn it, but it's really good, and we'll talk all about it. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but this channel fully dedicated to the LA Chargers because we're here in Michigan, and we wanted to see how Jim Harbaugh would do with the Chargers. Well, sure enough, into the playoffs the first year. So let me know in the comments. You guys have been doing an awesome job just kind of interacting. Your game day snack. You may not have it every time, but just the things like, man, if I could have some wings in front of me, little wings with a little ranch, blue cheese, or is it nachos? It's a dip. I'm a dip guy. Man, you get some queso, watch a game all day, and just dip in because it's kind of an active, nervous thing, that you can actively do and not fill up on too much. So let me know in the comments what you'd like to have and where you'll be watching this game. I said last time, a lot of people are gonna be there because a lot of people have moved from California to Texas. So you're going to have some Chargers fans there in Houston. Okay, here's the gift. You're playing Houston, which is great, because here's the gift. Their offense is really, really bad. And so to be in the playoffs and facing a team that, it looked like their offense was going to be one of the greatest offenses we've ever seen. It's like, oh my gosh, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, C.J. Stroud. I mean, he just came off this rookie year. You cannot, if you haven't been paying attention to the Houston Texans, you need to know that they are not good offensively. And now after 17 games, you can just fully say that. So Nico Collins was out for a little bit. Diggs tore his ACL. So that's of course, been a problem. But it's not even that. It's the bad rushing offense. They're 30th in EPA. So if you don't know what EPA is, it's expected points per attempt. And it's just basically saying, did you run a good play or a bad play? And the better your play runs, the higher score you get, bad play, and you kind of average that out. They have negative plays, 0 yards, 1 yard. They cannot get explosive plays in the running game. You look at the Detroit Lions, they get 1 to 2 30-plus yard runs a game. That's just like, you can't put a price tag on that. The Houston Texans cannot get rushing yards over 20. Most of the blame can be doled out to Houston's offensive line. Altogether, the Texans rate 23rd in run blocking, according to PFF. The other area that they're really bad is situational play. And so the Texans ranked 28th in EPA on first and second down. They were 12th a season ago. Stroud has struggled tremendously on first and second downs, putting them in a tough third down positions. If you look at what is going on here, and you look at C.J. Stroud, you kind of drill down on him. His completion percentage has dipped from his rookie season. Passer rating has gone down 15%. Went from 100 to 87. His interceptions per game have tripled. He was throwing, again, this is averaged out, right? So 0.3 interceptions per game, which isn't a real number, but you know what I'm saying, to now 0.75. His pass TDs per game have dropped. Yards per attempt dropped. Yards per game dropped. Sacks per game up almost double. You have such an opportunity here. And I think this is what's really fun about looking at it is if you look at the bracket, look at the bracket. Let me move over here. We're just looking over at the AFC side. Man, if Denver or Pittsburgh wins, then you wouldn't play Kansas City, right? And then you would go play Buffalo or Baltimore. But you just think about that. You got to win, of course, duh. But you need Pittsburgh or Denver to win, and now you don't see Kansas City. And honestly, even if you saw Kansas City, that's not the worst thing in the world. You know them. It's like, let's do this, right? So you're just in a spot where you can advance through one of these games and then see the picture from there and take it 1 week at a time. It's just a great, again, gift might be too strong of a word. I don't think that's quite the way to say it. because you had to earn it. But I do think, man, this is pretty cool and a great opportunity. And we keep looking at this, and PFF, I think, nails this. Again, we don't look ahead. We're in the current season, and we're having a blast with it. But you can get a tight end, a wide receiver, and an edge in the first 3 rounds. And you just look at, and that's why NFL is so popular. I mean, you can just change and get an influx of talent so quickly. I just love that. So the Chargers, and again, that's why this is so fun, and you're in the playoffs. But I think it's because people are like, this isn't a one and done thing. It's we're building on this. We're at the beginning of this build that we're gonna have. So I love that. Now another thing that's really interesting, something to keep in mind. One of your main players is Ladd McConkey. Everybody knows it. You just have to have him. And we talk about this rookie wall. And remember, the rookie wall is not because the season is long. It's because the rookies have started their season a lot earlier. Remember, they graduate or leave school or whatever, and a year ago, basically at this time a year ago, and then immediately they start preparing for the combine, interviews, and they just go through this gauntlet of preparations and and then what are they going to do, and how they got to interview with teams and travel around because they could possibly get drafted. That's all off season. So they don't get an off season. Then they get to their new team. How do they play? Playbook, it's just all new. And it's a lot mentally and physically. So Ladd McConkey, he's got an injury, somewhat of an injury bug a little bit at times, but can he stay healthy? That's going to be a big picture for you. So again, we're excited about playing a lesser opponent. It just is. They're still going to be good. I mean, the Texans aren't going to lay down. But you have to think about your side as well. It's like, okay, defensively, can we just do what we've been doing? And then offensively, do we have enough playmakers? Is Quentin Johnson going to come back? Sounds like he's going to. Could Ladd McConkey hold up? Can we run the ball just good enough? I mean, Ezekiel Elliott's not going to do anything from an outsider's perspective. Let me know on that. I don't know if I didn't get that one at all. I don't think he's going to help it one bit. So don't get too excited about him. I think we all know that, but it's like, it's a big name. So you kind of like, ooh, what's this? But it's like, nah, come on, be serious. So there's pros and cons, highs and lows, the whole thing. I can't wait to watch and see what happens, because again, if you can just win one game in the playoffs, that then just kind of resets the bracket and you see who you got. It's like, all right, can we just escape with one more? Like, what's that look like? And then now we're in the AFC Championship game somehow. I don't know how we got here, but the thing is about the Chargers is you have the quarterback. In the AFC, you have to have a quarterback. You have one. There's only like 4 of them, and you have one of them. In the NFC, you've got Baker Mayfield's, Jared Goff's, playing high levels. These guys are good. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from them, but there's just like big time quarterbacks in the AFC, and you have one. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.